Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. Romans chapter 8 and verse 6 teaches us a very important principle when it comes to the spiritual life. There the apostle Paul says, "For the mindset on the flesh is death, but the mindset on the spirit is life and peace." And that's just a small sample of what Paul is talking about in the larger context, where he's mentioning the importance of setting our mind on the Spirit. Or perhaps we could say paying attention to the Spirit, or we could also say concentrating on the Spirit. And in the original language, it would mean having our minds filled with the Spirit, as opposed to having our minds always attentive to the flesh and concentrated on the flesh and filled with the flesh. uh, we should always have our minds set on the Spirit. And this is an important principle in connection to the spiritual life, because oftentimes we think that the pathway to a vibrant spiritual life is really just adding on a whole lot of exterior practices and routines. And we think that doing a lot of outward things is what is going to really draw us close to God. And certainly those things might help. Um, Having certain routines are definitely helpful, and I would encourage all to have a good established routine that helps you to have space to draw your heart close to the Lord. But that's not enough. When it comes to the spiritual life, really where it all boils down to, or what it all about boils down to, is the mind. Where is our minds? Um, that's the crucial part when it comes to the spiritual life, because we could do all the routines. We could have our quiet time in the morning. We could do our Bible reading. We could say a few prayers throughout the day. But if our mind is not set on the Spirit, we'll always fall short from living the spiritual life God is calling us to live. However, in circumstances where we don't have access or the ability to be involved in the routine, maybe for whatever reason we are not able to access a Bible, or we're not able to have quiet time in the morning because of pressures that are placed on us or exterior circumstances, we can still maintain a spiritual life if our minds are set in the right place. And so today we ought to be very attentive to our minds. We ought to uh, assure that we are keeping our minds filled with the things of the Spirit. And we do this by being attentive to the presence of God everywhere that we go. It means that we stay present in the present moment, that we are still before the Lord, that we listen to the silence behind all the noise and the chaos, that we really look for and are able to sense the presence of God in everything that we see and everything that we hear and everything that we touch. To be able to just walk around just seeing God everywhere, using our heightened senses, where we are in tune to the fact that God's presence is everywhere. And as we see God in even the most smallest activities, and we draw our hearts close to the Lord, even in making a cup of coffee or something like that, we are setting our minds on the Spirit, drawing our hearts close to the Lord in the presence of the Lord. And when we do that, we will experience life and peace. It's hard to abide in the presence of God and in the glory of God and taking in the wonder of God and not experience life and peace. However, if we go through the day and we're simply just seeking after creaturely comforts and immediate gratification, or our minds are always set on what we're going to do next, and we're so focused on the things of the world and all these different things, that leads to death. It leads to more and more separation from God, and it keeps us from being able to draw close to the Lord, who is our source of life and peace. So today, let's be attentive to our minds. Let's mind our minds and think about what we're thinking about, and fill our minds with the things of God, by taking in God's word, by offering up prayers to God, but at the same time, being aware of the fact that God is everywhere and seeing Him in even the small little details of life. and being able to draw close to Him each and every moment. If we do this, we will have a true spiritual life that might be benefited by those routines that we can engage in, but is not ultimately dependent on those, because the heart is already drawn to the Lord. It's already aware of the presence of God and is drawing to Him in such a way. So here's some things we can reflect on and think about as we do our reading today. With that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.